Hey, comic book fans. Welcome back to the Gratu Orloff television show, once again brought to you in color from Mount Gratu, Thailand. We're here perusing the spinner rack looking for the best in comics, comics for all ages. Hey kids, it's comics, and they're wholesome and entertaining. Um, yes, indeed. Remember the sound of a spinner rack and all the wonderful comics you read in your youth? Anyway, thanks to all of you in the comic book community neighborhood. We're coming back for another episode of Comic Book Organizing. We're here listening to rock and roll music from Thailand. And a good friend of the Gratu Orloff television program, Forrest Jackson. You've seen him before several times on this show, showing you his Weird Menace Pulps and H.P. Lovecraft collection and stuff like that, has out of nowhere sent us a delightful AOK, act of kindness, goddammit, package. And first, he sent this book, Going Mutant, The Bat Boy Exposed. In a world gone batty, there was one bat who could save the world. So anyway, this is written by Dr. Barry Lead, PhD, Neil McGinnis, and the editors of the Weekly World News. So you remember the Bat Boy from the old days. And also from the old days, back from the late 80s, early 90s, you might remember Bob Larson from the radio, the talk show host. He's written this wonderful novel. And here he is. Remember Bob Larson? Bob Larson used to have a show where he would talk about all the things that were leading kids to perdition, like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and all the cartoons in the 80s that were involving witchcraft and things. And yeah, I remember he even did a few shows about the Tim Burton 1989 Batman and how horrible that was. And I remember thinking, he's nuts. And then I thought, well, you know, there were a few things in that movie that were questionable, like having Vicky Vale kind of sliding down the Joker. Oral sex jokes really aren't appropriate in a Batman movie. But then Tim Burton wouldn't really know that, since I don't think he's ever read a comic book, although I like the old Tim Burton. But and the movie I liked the movie, but I remember Bob Larson hated everything. He was like Mikey. He hates everything. And everything is satanic. And I remember that Bob Larson, well, my friend Forrest would sometimes call in and talk for quite a while with Bob Larson. It was quite entertaining. But those were in the old days, the 80s, 90s. We're turning off the electricity because we don't want to leave a giant carbon footprint, because, climate change is an existential crisis. And we here on the Gratu Orloff channel are all for saving electricity, and because we don't want the upcoming ice age and the hole in the ozone layer. And we stand with Ukraine. And, I hope you're enjoying Pride Month here. We're going to show you some comic books we're very proud of, although I'm still having trouble finding. It seems like there's a missing box, because I cannot find my Logan's Run Marvel comics. I cannot find my House of Mystery, House of Secrets, and my Machine Man Jack Kirby comics. I cannot find these motherfucking comics anywhere. So it's mystery. Oh, I don't want to say that word mystery. It's driving me crazy. God, I'm getting fat. Look at how the fat is sticking out. That's really unhealthy. Who would have thought that all these hamburgers would be unhealthy? God damn, that's horrifying. I gotta lose weight. Bad. All right, well, let's go up and organize comics. We're all fat here on the Gratu Orloff channel, right? Because we're comic book people. Okay. Well, maybe we'll magically find the Logan's Run comics right here on the air. I don't think so, but then stranger things have happened. Let's see, what's in this damn box here? What? I found a world's finest comic that doesn't belong here. Holy shit. Oh yeah, that's pretty damn cool. I'll show it to you. Hold on. Oh, there's several things I can show you. Fantastic. Shit. Some cool stuff in here, but not the stuff I'm looking for. Not what I'm looking for. Okay, so anyway, well, what's in this box? The Defenders, more Defenders. The Elf. Oh, Silver Age. Silver Age comics. Don't worry, I'm going to show you all this stuff. Ooh, that's pretty neat. Oh, the Phantom Stranger. I'm thinking that maybe I pulled the House of Mystery and House of Secrets comics to show them on Graphic Man's channel. That is what I am hoping has happened. And that I put them in a short box, possibly. It's possible. You know, on video, this looks like I'm living in Mar-a-Lago, like I have a ceiling made out of gold. In reality, it's very cheap, but on video, it looks kind of fancy instead of sleazy. Oh, well. Okay. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Not very beautiful because I can't find the House of Mystery comics and it's cloudy and probably about to rain. But things could be worse, right? How about that Putin? He sure seems like a bad man. He just does bad things all the time. Okay, and that climate change, wow, that's pretty existential. Okay, here's Charlton Comics, Teen Confessions. That needs to go in the Charlton box. Super Team Family. Looks like this was once sold in the UK. There's a, most of the people who watch this channel are in the States, but they give me little statistics, and then I got like 4% that are in the UK. Probably Whippet Lass and whoever else is over in England. I'd like to think the Gray Man watches from time to time. But now I see that I have at least one person watching in Finland, and then there's some percentage missing, like maybe they don't have other countries even listed on the YouTube deal. But anyway, so that's cool. And I now have just someone from Finland just started watching recently. Here's Tarzan of the Apes. And this is from October of 1969, because I just learned from Graphic Man that if you take these numbers right below the gold key, the last 3 digits, it says 910. The 9 is 1969. The 10 would be the month of October. And you say, how do you know that that's 1969? Why isn't this 1959 or 1979? Because it's 15 cents in comics. In 1969 were 15 cents. Those things you just have to know. But anyway, a very important trick, magic trick that was taught to me by Graphic Man. I will give him credit. Okay. So that, where did I just put that damn Charlton comic? Oh, jeez. Okay, that goes there. And this Tarzan goes with the gold key in the other room. Here's Sword of Sorcery from DC, attempting to cash in on the sword and sorcery comic book craze that was started by Marvel Publishing, Conan the Barbarian. Okay, so let's get these over here. Where did Drew go? Drew the dog was up here, but she must have gotten Okay, so here's some Super Team Family. This is issue number 3. That's issue 5. Let's see, in this box, I have some Super 2. I already have an issue 3. Now I have a second copy of issue 3. So that's... Okay, so UVW. So Sword of Sorcery is going to go after Super Team Family. Super Team, Super Villain Team Up. Okay, Super Villain. Swamp Thing. Okay, so Super Villain Team Up. Super Villain Team Up. Wait, Sword is going to be a... O is after A, so I got to go through the whole Swamp Thing collection to get to that. And this is not all my Swamp Things. They've got a... Some of them are in boxes over there. They have to be moved here. Now, here's a Charlton comic that we'll remove. Tales of the Mysterious Traveler. Now, the Mysterious Traveler was an old-time radio show. And, anyway, that's what that's based on. But by the 70s, or actually this is probably the 80s, 75 cents. No kid remembered the Mysterious Traveler, except for weird kids like me that went to the library and checked out record albums of old-time radio shows and recorded that shit onto cassette. So I knew the Mysterious Traveler. Okay, so let's get the Sword of Sorceries in there. Sword of Sorcery 5, 2... What is this damn comic? Oh, shit. Focus. I want it. Okay. And we're back. The Flash. Number 270. I'm going to bring a short... And I just found an empty short box in the other room. You get these comics. If I alphabetize them, then I can more easily get them into these boxes. And then I just found all these EC reprints. Let's put these EC reprints over here. Probably not very nice to do this, but I'm putting a stack of EC reprints next to the family Bible that was been handed down in my family. Oh, here's some Warlock. Could this be where the missing House of Mystery comics are? No. It is not. You ever see this? It's Star Trek: The Enterprise logs. It's reprints the Gold Key comics. This is kind of cool on the back. So it's just collects these cool Gold Key comics. It's something that's out there that you can look for. Oh, that helps me see. The fuck is that? What are those? I don't know what that is. Oh, those aren't mine. These glasses really F you up, man. Shit. Alright, I'm not going to wear those. Let's see what's in this box. These are Golden Age comics. So there's an issue of Mad. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, so you can be put back into your spot. There you go. Okay, so anyway, this is Flash 270. Like anybody cares. Marvel Age number 7 with the Micronauts. Marvel Age number 11. Another Flash 285. That's after 270. The Demon number, the number got cut off. I think it's number 3. Anyway, I'll figure that out. The Secret Society of Supervillains, number 6. Also known as the DNC, right? Secret Society of Supervillains. Okay. Oh, this is Klaus Schwab's first inking job for DC. Swamp Thing number 11, inked by Klaus Schwab. He used to sign these quite often during restroom breaks at the World Economic Forum, but he doesn't sign quite as much as he used to. Klaus Schwab, one of the giants of the comic book industry in the 1970s. This is a new comic that I actually bought because I like the cover. How easily tricked I am. I guess the inside doesn't look that shitty, but I'm sure once I read it I would realize how bad it is. Here's what I hate, the black going to the border. I guess it's supposed to make you think you're watching a movie, and that's a movie screen. I guess that's what they're going for. Oh, you know, the reason I like the art is they're trying to be retro. They're trying to draw it like they did in the old days. So therefore it looks normal to me and probably wonky to the average person that, you know, votes for Joe Biden. All-Star Comics number 74. The Outlaw Kid. How about that? How about that one, man? Outlaw goes after F, after M, and before S. The Tomb of Dracula, number 35, with Brother Voodoo. Tomb of Dracula 35. I better not be missing my Tomb of Dracula, motherfuckers. Not calling you motherfuckers, just metaphorically. DC Comics presents number 37, Superman and Hawk Girl. DC goes before Demon. Fantasy masturbating with the Silver Surfer. This is reprints of the late 60s Silver Surfer with, I guess, a little bit of Warlock in there too, huh? Number 14, Fantasy Masturbating. Another DC Comics presents Superman and Shazam, which normal people call Captain Marvel. DC Comics presents 733. Why, it's DC Comics presents Annual, number 3. Roy Thomas wrote that. Roy Thomas still looks exactly the same, living on a farm somewhere. Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas, ladies and gentlemen. He was a good friend of Klaus Schwab. Here's the Man Thing. Number 21. I know that Man Things are right here. Let me just put it over here. There it is. Man Thing was one of the, as far as I know, the first comic that started this trend where they started the numbering over for no particular reason. They started over with issue 1, and that was done back in, I think, in the 70s. They started over with issue 1, and that was a horrible precedent that they started that now every comic does, seemingly. It's a Marvel team-up, number 84, with a Master of Kung Fu. They made an incredibly shitty movie based on that comic book. Yeah. Ooh, cool. The fuck is that shit? Forgive me. Like I said, this is, or did I say that? I might have said it. I started filming an episode about 40 minutes ago, and then I deleted it because it was just nothing but me upset and angry and obsessing about where is this missing box of comics. And so I just thought I'll start over fresh. But I think in that last episode I said you probably need to just stop watching and come back for the next episode because I'm not in a good mood here. Marvel Team Up, Marvel Feature, Marvel 2-in-1, Marvel Team Up 84, there's 40, 49, 75, 96, 91, 81, 84. All right. It's always good when I don't have 3 copies of the same issue. Okay. These Tarzan books, I think they're right over here after Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing. What? Sword. Oh, Tarzan, yeah. Here they go. Okay. Shit, this Tarzan's out of order. It's in the middle of the Swamp Things. What? No, the Swamp... What? Tales... Why is Tales to Astonish in the middle of Swamp Thing? Sword and Sorcery. Oh, I see. I always like this cover. Oh, that's why. It's Ernie Chua, who I loved. He later became Ernie Chan. He went by Ernie Chua because I think when he came to the States, they wrote his name down wrong. And I guess he later straightened it out and went back to what his real name is. Okay, the sword and sorceries are not in the right place. The Saga of the Swamp Thing. Saga of the Swamp Thing. A lot of swamp things. Swamp Thing. We started watching that Swamp Thing show that was on the DC channel. I guess it's on Warner Brothers Direct now. This is an important issue because it was this was the first time Klaus Schwab again penciled and inked in this. So this is a pretty high dollar comic because Klaus Schwab is one of the great artists of the Bronze Age or Copper Age, whatever the fuck this is anyway. So I've got 2 copies of this Klaus Schwab issue. Yes, indeed. Swamp Thing. Swamp fucking Thing. Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing. There's a lot of fucking Swamp Things. Swamp Thing. Sword of the Atom. Swamp Thing. Sword of the Atom. Sword of Sorcery. Sword of Sorcery would go before Sword of the Atom. Swamp Thing 22. God, I had a horrible lunch, man. That was fucking shitty. I'm getting sick of that deli down the street. But I was starving. I was about to fucking collapse. Alright. So what issue is this? Okay, so this is 19. Oh, these are beautiful covers. This is shit. This is shit. What was that sitcom in the 70s? The theme song started. This is shit. Blah, 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 blah. Something like that. 21. 22 with a date stamp that says January 24th. Oh, that's the same one I just showed. Okay, so I've got one with a date stamp and one without it. Okay, Swamp Thing. God. Low battery? Are you fucking kidding me? I have a low battery. That means I need to go into the room next door for a little bit and recharge it. If that's okay, that'll give me a chance to show you some better comics. I'll get these Tarzan comics moved over first. Whoa, shit, fuck, piss. Okay. The hell with it. I didn't charge my phone enough before I came up here. Yeah, let's go in the other room and work on Silver Age comics for a change. I was given this for free. It's not a comic book. It's just the front cover. Apparently, it had been through a fire, but I thought, well, they were just using it for display in a comic store, and they said, you can have it. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I can hang that on my wall. I don't own this actual issue. But, all right, I believe I left the electrical cord that plugs in the phone in this room while I was filming when I was broadcasting on the last episode of Graphic Man's Wednesday night program, the 4-color fossils. So let's get the lighting system going in here. How do I turn that on? There we go. All right. So this will give us a chance for the phone to gain an electrical charge. Where do I? Oh, I don't use this. I always use the camera in my laptop when I do the 4-color fossils. So, therefore, how about that? Yeah, wow, great. What can I show you? An issue of Comic Shop News. I don't know why I saved these freaking things. Do they still put this out? I haven't seen it in ages. Anyway, this is a Flaming Carrot issue, so I won't toss it. I like the Flaming Carrot. They used to advertise this in comic books, remember? In the 70s. So what you can do with this is like this. It'll make it look like in fact, I ought to do this. I ought to put this up on the wall in here. See, it looks creepy. How about that? Gray Morrow. Gray Morrow was an assistant for Klaus Schwab when he first started. He helped finish the Monster Times, one of the great publications of our time. This is an issue. This is volume 1, number 6. So this is the 6th issue from, see, it was like the old Rolling Stone. It opens up like this, and then you read it like so. It has lots of great old ad mats in it. And it really was amazing. There's that book. Hold on. The EC Horror Library of the 1950s. This is part of the, like I was telling you, there was a nostalgia craze in the 70s. And so you could get a paperback, and you can get books, hardcover books of Flash Gordon, Terry and the Pirates, Popeye, EC, just a lot of people nostalgic for their youth in the 1970s, for the 30s, 40s, the 50s, whatever, depending on how old they were. Here's a zombie story. It's art by Dan Green. So sometimes they'd have comics in here. And then they would always have a poster in the center. From their graves they come, with rotting skin, shriveled eyeballs, claw-like hands, zombies, the living dead. This is just one of the greatest things ever. Bill Gaines, from EC to DC. You got, you can get this Mr. Spock poster. This was a newspaper that cared about monsters, comic books. It, you know, everything that you loved as a kid was in the Monster Times. And I don't hear enough people talking about it. Dr. Silverage talks about it, but this is something that was quite magical in the 1970s, along with Castle of Frankenstein. I mean, Famous Monsters was the king, but these publications covered more of what, because Famous Monsters never got into the comic book area. Shit. I'm real careful with these old things. They're printed on newsprint. See, they had a whole article on Night of Living Dead. says The Night of the Living Dead is a strange film. It's sort of about ghouls and science fiction, but ghouls are living who feed on the dead. In Night of the Living Dead, the dead rise up to Marvel. Anyway, this is the zombie issue. The zombie issue. And this is, they even covered Bruce Lee. This is from April of 1974. It's a dinosaur issue. Now this that's from the ad mat, the poster for, I think it was called, was it Blood of Ghastly Horror, I believe? I think that's what it was called. And that's Neil Adams' art. I'm almost positive. Yeah, that's Neil Adams. I was thinking, is it Gray Morrow? No, that's definitely Neil Adams if you look at it. My friend, who passed away a few years ago, owned this art. He had it framed on his wall in his house. And it's probably still there because I think his brother kept that house exactly as it was when he passed away, and his collection rivaled Forrest J. Ackerman. I mean, he was great. See, it even has, it even covered EC in this delightful publication. Anyway, yeah, he owned that art. It was, God, I really look fucking bad, man. I mean, like, bad enough to be concerned. Of course, I didn't get much sleep. I just saw my friend's thing from his funeral. It was just here a minute ago when I was moving that box. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this was my friend when I first met him. That's what he looked like in college. But anyway, this was what they handed out at his funeral. Born February 10th, 1963. Passed away November 28th, 2016. Yeah. And his dog has passed away recently as well. His brother took care of the dog after he passed away. Well, yeah. So, yeah, he went to Hollywood for a good 20 years and worked in the special effects field. But he was a big monster kid and all that. He wasn't really a comic book collector. He was more into movies. I think the only comics he collected were World War II comics that he had. It was very special. I can't get this phone to stand up, man. He only collected comics that had certain things on the cover. Let's see. Here's Monster Times number 47 from when Space 1999. I remember we thought Space 1999 was going to be the next big thing, that they were promoting it as if it was going to be the new Star Trek, and it was good, it was fun, but it was not the new Star Trek. And then they tried to retool it in the second season to make it a little more, the acting a little more warm, because the acting in the first season wasn't much different from the acting in one of the Jerry Anderson puppet shows. And anyway, but they had good actors, and then they added a Mr. Spock type character who was a woman that could change into animals, an alien woman, to try to give it some spice it up. But it only lasted 2 seasons. It was a good show. But it was a letdown. It was not the thing we thought we were going to get. So we were let down in 1975. We were let down in 1976 with the remake of King Kong. And then the next year we got something that really delivered, which was the real original Star Wars. But it's kind of hard to remember that now with all these new shitty Star Wars. That's my father. This is a clipping. When he got out of the Army, he retired as a full colonel, and then he was working as a real estate agent, and then became a broker. So this is when he was named Agent of the Month, and this is probably from about the time Star Wars came out. I got all kinds of stuff just here that needs to be organized. Oh, here's some comics that need to be organized. What are these? What are these? And why are they here? Yeah, everything is disorganized. Okay. I hear thunder outside. Oh, these are the Silver Surfer comics from the 2000s. And there's Guardians of the Galaxy in this issue. I think before the movie came out. This was a series I remember picking up at Lone Star Comics because I liked Mike Allred. I liked his art. This is something. If the art's good, I'll be there. It's just, you got to put out a good product, and I'll still come back. I'm always listening to the radio, hoping that some new musical artist will come along. It's not that I hate all modern music. I just hate what I hear, which is almost all of it. And it really hasn't been since I guess it's been almost 20 years since there was some stuff that was popular, like the White Stripes and the Donnas and in the early 2000s, who else was there? I don't know. Seemed like there were some bands that sounded decent around then. And then it just stopped. This is the Hulk number 363. A friend of mine gave me this as a present. He just said, here. I don't know if it has any particular... here's a 20-cent era Khazar, number 14. I remember buying the first issue at the PX in San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston. But I love this era with the window box, I guess you call it. And cool thing in the back, they reprint a 1950s Jungle Girl comic. Jan of the Jungle. Jungle Fever is the name of the story. So that's certainly cool, and the actual story of Khazar is quite good itself. Let's see any credits. Looks like it's definitely John Buscema art. I hear thunder outside. How spooky. Here's Khazar 15. And then this is Silver Age. So this will stay in this room. The Bronze Age I'm taking to that room to organize. And then once it's all organized, it'll come back into this room and fill this wall behind me and the closet back there. So where are those fucking House of Mystery guys? Okay, so that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, this goes there. Okay, these are all gold key. Oh yeah. Here's Mr. Ed the Talking Horse. How about that? Here's the Munsters. This is now, as Graphic Man showed us, if you look at the last three digits there, it says 704. So the 7 would be 1967 and 4 would be April. So this is April of 67. This came out when I was 2 years old. The Munsters was off the air then. The Munsters was on from 64 through 66. By this time, Batman had kind of replaced the Munsters. And no, Batman replaced the Addams Family. The Addams Family and Batman were both ABC shows. Munsters was on CBS. But anyway, both shows, Addams Family and the Munsters, started the same week in 64 and ended in 66. And but this comic kept being published. This is 67-8, so this is August of 67. This one says, oh, this is earlier. I have them out of order. It says 5/07, so this is 65, July of 65. So I was probably about a month old when this came out, because if it's stated July, and I was born in April, the comics that would have been on the stands when I was born would have been June of 65, because comics were dated 2 months ahead. So I would have been about a month old when this issue was on the stands. Oh, this is dated the month of my birth, but that means it would have actually been on the stands 2 months before. It says 5/04, 65, April. Here's Marlon Brando. You don't see Marlon Brando on the cover of many comic books. 3/02, 63, February of 63. I'm learning this magic trick taught to me by Graphic Man. 1/08. Okay, 1. Okay, so is it 61? Is it 71? Is it 81? Well, it's 15 cents, so it'd be 71. It was right before comics went up to 20 cents. And here's one that is 20 cents, and this is 4/06, which would make it 74 June. The Close Shaves of Pauline Perrell. It says 009, 009, so that means 1970, September. It looks like this is based on a cartoon, but I don't think it actually was, because at the bottom it doesn't say Hanna-Barbera, it says Western Publishing. It just really has the look of being based on a Saturday morning cartoon, but apparently it was an original creation. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, you can tell me. Now, after the last video, I'm separating these gold key. Captain Strange-Life left a message saying down below saying he puts his Dell and gold key together, and I've been thinking maybe I should do that. I don't have that many Dell, but Dell kind of like some of the comics that were Dell kind of morphed into gold key. I think Dell, I'm not sure if Dell became gold key or no, they didn't, because I remember as a kid I remember seeing Dell comics and gold key comics at the same time. Anyway, I think I'm going to just put the Dell and the gold key together. Now if it's a Whitman variant of of a Gold Key comic. They don't have the numbers, so you have to actually open it up. And it's November of '76. This is a particularly shitty cover. It's very unusual. It looks like something would be painted on the side of a van. And I'm not insulting. I don't mean to insult van art. I mean, this is what we're used to. This is my childhood copy with Gold Key art. So 311. So this is 1973, November of '73. Yeah. So November of '73. I was in 3rd grade. That makes sense. Okay, we might have enough charge on the phone. Well, let's look at a few more things while we're in here. I think I'll also put not just Gold Key and Dell together, but I think I'll put, and I don't have many comics, King features, but I'm going to throw this in the same, because then all the Phantoms will be together. Not that I have that many Phantoms. See, there's the Phantom from Gold Key, the Phantom from King, and I'll just put them together. Here's my original Star Trek tracer gun. I keep finding these little I keep finding these everywhere. These are the little tracer. I wish it was in the original packaging, because it had quite spectacular artwork with a photo of Kirk and Spock, and maybe I can look on eBay and see if I can find one that's still in the packaging. That would look quite spectacular. But this same tracer gun, the trigger's a little broken, was used for various, it wasn't just Star Trek, but that's what I remember it as a Star Trek gun. Of course, looks nothing like what they used on Star Trek, but you gotta sell stuff. There's remember this guy? Yeah. I don't know why I own this. I have no fucking idea. I think they gave him away at Brahms. I think this guy Vern, or what was his name? Ernie something. I think he will say, "Hey Vern." I don't think he was Vern. I forget what his name was. Ed, was it Nort? I forget what his name was. He made a bunch of movies. Ernest. Is it Ernest? Yeah, Ernest Goes to School. Yeah, this guy. He did commercials for Brahms ice cream cheeseburger store, I think. And this probably was a promotion for that. Fucking shit. What else can I show you? It's down here. I don't know if you collect old TV guides. These are actual TV guides that were used by the family when they came out. And I just save everything, being a mental patient. But this one, my wife was born May the 4th, 1978. I was born in '65, so there's a 13-year difference. But I found out the time on May 4th that my wife was born, so I was able to see, well, what was I watching on television when you were born? So May 4th was a Thursday, and she was born about 7:30. So I need to find out what was on television April 20th of 1965. I'm sure I could do an internet search for that, or get an April 20th, 1965. I might have an April 65 TV guide. I think the Monsters of the Addams Family might have been on the cover that week. That, I think, but I'll have to check. Okay, what was on TV at 7:30? 7 o'clock, The Waltons started on Channel 4, which was CBS. And then there was the Hanna-Barbera Happy Hour on Channel 5. This is Dallas-Fort Worth programming. Channel 5 was NBC. Guest Robert Conrad, Melissa Sue Anderson, Linda Lavin, and Peter Lupus. Highlights include Linda singing "Going at Last" and Honey and Sis. Auditioning. A musical Yogi Bear, postponed from a previous date. Channel 8 was Phenomenon of Benji, a salute to the canine film star. Actually, there are two Benjis. The first began its career in TV's Petticoat Junction, 1963 through 1970. Won fame in the theatrical feature Benji, 1974, and then retired. I didn't know that was the same dog that was in Petticoat Junction that was in Benji. Okay, fantastic. It's a whole documentary about Benji. I don't think I was watching any of those shows. I can't imagine that I would have watched any of them. What was on the other channels? Gunsmoke, a rerun of Gunsmoke was on Channel 11. This is before Fox existed or the CW network. Channel 39, an independent channel, had Gomer Pyle. No, okay, 7:30. That's when What's Happening was on. Then Hawaii Five-0 started at 8. Barney Miller, My Three Sons. I could, if I was watching. Okay, so what the hell? So Benji was a half-hour special, and then What's Happening. I guess it's possible I was watching What's Happening, which was a TV series. I watched that. I don't think I watched it every week. There's nothing. It was really nothing. That's all you had, man. So I might have just been reading a comic book or something. That's a really oh well. There's some Jack Davis art for the sweepstakes. Jack Davis was very prolific. Oh shit, see, I cut out of it. What an idiot. At some point, I was so obsessed with Saturday Night Live, I went through all my old TV guides and cut out the entry for Saturday Night Live, and I think I put them in a scrapbook so I'd know what guests were on, and fucking insanity. Behind the Muppet Empire. Yes, indeed. This is from August of '77, so Star Wars was still in the theater when this was out. Look at this explosion of 8-track tapes, probably a terrorist attack, right? They got a package and it exploded in their faces, sending 8-track cassettes, lodging them in their skull. Did I cut out from this one? Saturday evening. God, that was really special, the original Saturday Night Live. Let's go. 10:30. Oh, it wasn't on that week. What? August of '77, instead of Saturday Night Live, it has something called Weekend. And Twilight Zone was on Channel 4. Man, they ran Wild Wild West at 2:40 in the morning back in 1970. And then at 1 o'clock they had Disco 77. That's wild. Sunday morning. Well, let's look at Saturday morning. Okay, at 7 you... Yeah, 7 you had a choice of Sylvester and Tweety, Woody Woodpecker, Tom and Jerry and Mumbly, or Carrasco Colindas on Channel 3, that's PBS, or Underdog on 39. Of those, I would choose Underdog. 7:30, Clue Club, Pink Panther, Jabberjaw, Mr. Rogers, or Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest being Channel 39, I would have chosen that. See, those are the old reruns on Channel 39, which is an independent station. 9 o'clock, it was a Christian station. It was, what do you call that? The one with the 700 Club with Pat Robertson. Channel 39 ran old reruns, but it ran 700 Club. But it had Star Trek, and it made most of its money from Star Trek reruns in the 70s. Then they got Wonder Woman, but they felt guilty about it when they were running the Wonder Woman reruns because it had a little bit too much cleavage for. I mean, they ran Lone Ranger in the morning. They ran Father Knows Best. Leave It. Did they have Leave It to Beaver? I don't know if they had Leave It to Beaver, but it was the most wholesome channel possible. They would show, whatever reruns they could get that were the most wholesome. And then Channel 11 was the other independent channel that ran the old 60s and 50s shows. But the notorious thing was, I know with Star Trek, they would edit a few episodes, and I know they cut the Orion slave woman, the green woman dancing. They just thought that was a little too seductive, a little too worldly. They cut that scene. 8 o'clock, Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, Scooby-Doo with Dino Mutt, Electric Company, or Popeye and Bugs Hour on 39. So you got Bugs Bunny against Bugs Bunny. You got the network showing of Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner against Popeye and Bugs. If it was me today, I would stick with Popeye and Bugs. 8:30, you got News and Review, Studio C. I guess because a lot of the at 9, you got the Tarzan cartoon, Speed Buggy, Extension 77, Sesame Street, or Mighty Mouse. I would watch Tarzan. At 9:30, Batman, Monster Squad, Croft Super Show, Hot Fudge, Heckle and Jekyll. Monster Squad was pretty cool. And I think the guy that was the manager of the monsters, the kind of like Charlie's Angels, he was the Charlie, the nerdy guy that sent the monsters out on missions. I think he became a senator or something. I would probably watch that was when Batman had Adam West and Burt Ward doing the voices, and they had Batmite, and Batgirl was in it too, and that was Filmation. I probably watched Batman, although I think I watched Monster Squad sometimes. Then at 10:30, it's Shazam / ISIS against Space Ghost Frankenstein Jr. It says Space Ghosts with an S, but that's a misprint. Oh, and that's on NBC, so was that a rerun, or did they make new I think they made new Space Ghost Frankenstein Jr. cartoons that weren't as good as the old ones, but were close. Not as they made it less violent because it wasn't the 60s anymore. Mr. Rogers, Jetsons. Yeah, then 10:30 you have Super Friends. Fat Albert at 11. Land of the Lost. Those were reruns by 77. 11:30 at Arc 2. Peppermint Place was a local kids show. I was on Channel 8. Jerry Haynes, the guy that played Mr. Peppermint. That was a cool show. His son, he had a teenage son that formed a band called the Butthole Surfers. His name was Gibby Haynes. So this innocent kid show host, Jerry Haynes, spawned an evil, depraved son. I'd say it's like Joe Biden spawning Hunter Biden, except Joe Biden is just as evil and depraved. It hasn't come out as much. He didn't film it as much, you know. Hunter Biden just let it all hang out on film, but Joe Biden is just as evil. Trust me. This girl was telling my wife and myself, "Oh, he just seems like such a sweet old man." Talking about Joe Biden. Ugh. I was so happy to vote for him and against that mean old Donald Trump. Well, I hope you're happy to be paying five. They say now the average is $5 a gallon all through the U.S. Hope you're happy with that. You stupid cunt. Sweet old man, indeed. Tell that to all the people he sniffs. All right, but he's doing a great job with the economy, I have to say, and he's bringing the country together. We've never been less divided. Between him and Obama, it's just things are all right. But we don't talk politics here on the Garage to Orloff channel. I think we have enough electricity that we could go back into the other room. Quite possibly. Okay. Yeah, I hear thunder out there. Did you hear that thunder? Yeah. All right. Well, it was a nice respite from my constant fretting about where the Logan's Run and House of Mystery comics are. And now I come back in here and I'm right back. Where the fuck are my House of Mystery comics? I mean, I gotta think. I guess they're replaceable. I mean, it's not like House of Mystery comics are that valuable, or House of Secrets. Where are they? But there was one issue of Logan's Run that's, I think, pricey because it had a Thanos story in it or something. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Let's get these Tarzan comics filed. Okay. Tarzan. Do you say Tarzan or Tarzan? I say both ways, depending on. You say potato, I say potato. Kazar, Khazar, Tarzan, Tarzan, Tarzan. Perez, potato, tomato, tomato, Tarzan. 213, 212, 210. Oh, this is Teen Titans. Okay. Why is that out of order? What? Why is Teen Titans in front of Tarzan? And this is the first DC issue. Teen Titans, that should be over here. Yes, indeed. In the when the Comics Code Authority, when they relaxed their standards in '71 as far as what you could allow in horror comics, horror became real big in the comics industry. So you notice I got 2 copies, turns out, of issue 40 of Teen Titans, and see how they kind of go with the horror theme on the cover. A lot of the superhero comics had comics that looked like they were covers on horror comics. Here, you see, 43. For a while. Okay, so my 60s Teen Titans are in there. So this is when, to me, the Bronze Age started. If this is the first episode you've watched of this show here on the Garage War Life Network, I've decided to separate my Silver and Golden Age from my Bronze Age. And boy, has it been a pain in the ass. Okay, so Swamp Thing, Sword of Sorcery, and then there's some more Teen Titans out of order. Okay, this Tales to Astonish was when they brought Tales to Astonish back in '79, reprinting. It's a reprint from Submariner #1, which is a comic I can't afford. So this revival of Tales to Astonish was reprinting the early the Submariner issues. Submariner, the famous hero from Mexico, a Mayan superhero, half human, half Mayan. You know the story, right? We've known it since 1939. He was from a Mayan civilization that sunk underwater. Well, that's what they're doing in the movies, because either just to be more inclusive for identity politics, or maybe because they're afraid that the normal people out there that watch movies will think that Marvel's imitating DC with Aquaman, even though Aquaman in the comics came after the Submariner. Both characters being half human and half Atlantean. But anyway, I don't like change. I think things should stay the same, but when you complain about things, then people think you're, it's just bullshit. Okay, so here's more Tarzan comics. So what the hell? Oh, that's 2. Okay, 210. This is 220. 221. 222. I believe this is 223. Price tag's covering up the tra-la-las. Here's 224. 225. Okay, and this is Strange Adventures. It is number 237. I would say this might have been the very beginning of the 20-cent era for DC. Probably the first. Oh, here's another Tarzan comic. Tarzan of the Apes, A Son's Vengeance. I'm a huge Edgar Rice Burroughs fan. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. Shit, this stuff's... What the fucking heck? Why is everything out of order? Where the hell? I just put all those Tarzan books in there. Now I don't even see them. That damn fucking ring light. I blame it. Swamp Thing, Sword of Sorcery, Tales to Astonish. Then why do I start with 220? What the name of... Where did I put those Tarzan books? 220, 220. Oh, they're completely out of order. 212, 237. What is going on here? Fucking shit. Okay. God damn it, son of... Okay. 220. 221, 222. Okay, I showed you all these fucking books. 237. 237. Here's fucking 230. 230. Got 230. 230. 230. 237. That goes here. Okay, so what is this goddamn motherfucking book? 252. 237. 212. I already showed you 212. 212. 213. I laugh at this. It says Trial by Blood, and it looks like there's a blood stain on the cover. I think it's a printing error, at least I hope. Did you see right here below the L in Trial by Blood? It looks like there's a blood spot. Trial by Blood, 228. 230. Okay, that goes here. Okay. This is 210, 4th DC issue. 229. Goes before 230. 207, the 1st DC issue. And it looks like I have 2 copies of 210. 2nd DC issue. Where's the 3rd DC issue? That's another thing I'm pretty sure I've got, but where is it? Okay. Where was that box? Oh. Okay. Teen Titans. Teen Titans also did that to us. They kept starting the numbering over, and it was very confusing, and that became a problem. Then the Justice League did it to us. Then there became a bunch of Justice Leagues, and that was a big pain in the ass. And then, yeah, then Legion of Superheroes became a problem. And now it's every comic book is a problem, because every comic goes through about issue 30 or 40, if even that far, and then they start over with issue 1. If you go to mycomicshop.com and look up Spider-Man #1, you'll scroll through probably 6 or 7 different pages, and each page probably has 30 Spider-Man #1s, because every time they start it again, they have like 40 different alternate covers you can get. Which, maybe that makes the hobby magical to you, or does it just make it, to me it's a real hassle. Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing, and The Submariner. Marvel 2-in-1 for The Thing and Captain America. That would go right here. This is Marvel's attempt to bring back not brand Ech. Their attempt to be a Harvey Kurtzman style early Mad EC parody of their own superheroes and other companies' superheroes. Here they're doing a parody in issue 23 of of Super Pro, which was a comic book that Marvel did in association with the NFL, where the superheroes were a football team or something. I don't know. Here's Married with Children too, the comic that probably you don't even know it exists. Okay, so what the? Let's put that down here. What the would become before Wonder Woman? Here's Santa Claus funnies, which I guess I need to put in my Christmas box. I've also separated Christmas comics. Here's Superman Family, number 173. And there's Super Team Family, so let's get this in there with that. Superman Family was a fun comic that reprinted Silver Age stories, and then they started doing new stories. I prefer the Silver Age ones. Okay, so I have more than one copy of that issue. Okay, here is DC also did this comic called Tarzan Presents Edgar Rice Burroughs' Weird Worlds, where they did stories of John Carter and David Ennis at the Earth's core. John Carter, of course, on Mars, which on Mars they call it the planet Barsoom. So that's Weird Worlds 2. This is 4. I know I've got a complete set. Let's see if it's over here with the Tarzan books. I might have filed it under W, but if it is over the W's, I'm going to move it over with the Tarzan books because it just makes more sense to me. Okay. This is not a... Oh, and there's more Tarzan. Yes, I do have it here. In the middle of my Tarzan run, I had this fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's probably the only turtle book I own because it had Richard Corbin art, and I love Richard Corbin. I've just never been a turtle person. Okay. Tarzan 252. These are completely out of order. 212. Well, if everything's out of order, then maybe that encourages me that I'll find my House of Mystery comics after all. Yeah, I have two copies of 212. And maybe I can trade with you guys to rebuild. If I have missing comics, maybe I can trade with some of you for these, because I've got extra copies. There's a bunch of this shit. 222. Like this book, 223. I apparently have 2 copies of it. But this one, I want you to see that up there next to the, where it says 223. I don't know if you can see that. In pencil, right next to the 3 is someone has written G, meaning this is good condition. That is what Lone Star Comics used to do in their stores. I remember thinking it was insanity when I was a kid, and I still think that. 224, 225, 228. Oh, here's 220. Okay, here's 226. 227. 228, 220. Okay, another copy of 229. Oh, that cover is so good it has to be Ernie Chan. 258. These all have great covers. Okay, 258 would be a little further in. Then there's this 100-page giant. 230. Okay, that's in the right price. Yeah, remember these things. That's great. And is this in the right spot? 237. So I have 2 copies of that. Okay. Um, 252, 258. Looks like I'm missing a lot of Tarzan books from DC. This Tarzan family featuring Korak, I think this is issue 60. I think it covered, well, there was Weird Worlds, and then I think this was Korak. Gold Key had Korak, son of Tarzan, and then they kept the numbering of Korak when Tarzan moved over to DC, but they call it Tarzan Family. And you see it's got these all the other Edgar Rice Burroughs heroes. So this is 60, 61, 62, 65. Okay, they're a little bit out of order. Here's 64. Yeah, okay. Another copy of 62. 62. Another copy of 61. Another copy of 60. Oh, here's some more. Here's 218 of Tarzan. Here's 219. Okay, 64. No, that's 64. Okay, I have two copies of 64. Okay. What I think happened here is Duncanville Books, back where I used to live, was selling these Tarzan books in the $2, or either the $2 or $1 bin. And I picked up a bunch of them, and I already had a bunch of them, and so now I've got 2 of them. People have these apps on their phone where they can look and see what comics they already own, so they don't buy comics over and over again. And that's probably smart. And I should be doing that right now as I go through these comics, so that I don't. But then there are no comic stores around here, so the danger of me being in a comic store and not sure if I have it or not is not really a factor. Okay, Tarzan. And then I go to the Marvel Tarzan. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to go before the first Teen Titans over here. All right. So that makes that sense. I'll pull out these little graphic novels. They're a little bit smaller, and they could just be put on a bookshelf. Okay. Here's Superman number 359. Supergirl Annual number 2 from 1997. They're trying to do a romance comic type cover. Oh, I could just go and file these. Superman 3. Yeah, and then Superman did that too. They started over with issue 1, and then the old Superman continued as Adventures of Superman, just to make things complicated. But that kind of stuff really just annoyed me, like profoundly annoyed me. Because they know that issue number 1s sell, that's why they do it. Here was Tarzan trying to be like an Edgar Rice Burroughs hero. Did I say Tarzan? Superman trying to be like an Edgar Rice Burroughs hero. Sorry. I did not get much sleep. 363, 347, 359. Okay, here's a really great Phantom Stranger cover. Very gothic looking. That'll go in the other room. Oh, look at this. Our Love Story. Fantastic. Giant Size Avengers #1. Okay, what we got here? Indeed. Here's Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #7. Okay, let's get these Silver Age comics into the other room. Sergeant Fury, 1965 annual. The X-Men at the State Fair of Texas. This giant cowboy at the State Fair of Texas was called Big Tex. He started as a giant Santa Claus in the 1940s, and they bought this giant Santa Claus and converted him into a giant cowboy. And then every so often during the State Fair, the cowboy has a movable jaw, and I think his eyes might move too. And there's a little radio kind of booth there not far from Big Tex, and there'll be a guy in there, and he'll read into the microphone and he'll say, "Howdy, folks. Welcome to the great State Fair of Texas. This is Big Tex," you know. He'll say, "Starting at 4, and you can go see the dog show, the birds will," you know, whatever. He'll announce things that are coming up. And mainly he'll just say, "Howdy, folks." Well, there used to be a guy named Jim Lowe, a local DJ, not the Jim Lowe that recorded Behind the Green Door, but a local guy with a deep voice, and he was the voice of Big Tex for many, many years. Well, it might have been the early 50s or late 40s when The Shadow was still on radio, on the network, radio networks, whatever network The Shadow was on. Because, you know, in the old days, kind of before television, shows were on the radio, and you'd listen to them and form pictures in your mind, right? For those of you that don't know. Anyway, so he read his lines for Big Tex, and then I guess he walked away from the microphone, for somehow the radio, I don't know exactly, it might have been a recording or something, but somehow the opening of the network broadcast of The Shadow started coming through Big Tex, and his mouth was moving, and then there was this sinister laugh, you know, as the organ swelled, you know. "Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows." You know, like that. And Big Tex did that. Well, anyway, that's one of those stories that Jim Lowe used to tell, because when I was a kid, Jim Lowe had a nostalgia show on WFAA AM in Dallas. He would play old radio shows and old music, and he told that story more than once. Now, a few years ago, probably about maybe 10 years ago, and you can see footage of this on YouTube, Big Tex caught fire and was just burst into flames. And just, you need to go watch that footage. And I remember one time in the 70s, there was, and I don't watch much football because I'm not a big sports fan, but I happened to be watching, or maybe someone just called my attention to it from the other room. And I don't know if I'd be able to find footage. I think I found a reference to it one time. I did an internet search. I don't know if the footage is on YouTube, but it was broadcast live on network television during a Dallas Cowboys game. There was somebody dressed as a snowman selling like hot dogs or soft drinks, walking around in the stadium selling them to the people watching the game. And somehow he must have bumped into the hot thing for the hot dogs, whatever. But anyway, his snowman costume caught fire, and there was this burning snowman running through the crowd at a Dallas Cowboys game. He didn't die, or I wouldn't be laughing about it, but it's just the fact that snowmen aren't supposed to be on fire, you know, the irony of it all, that sort of thing. This is a issue that apparently is somewhat sought after right now. People love it. Speaking of nostalgia, people that are nostalgic for the 90s, because this is pretty much the team that you saw on Saturday morning on the Fox network, Fox Kids network, and so people are nostalgic for this X-Men number 11, which when X-Men was notorious for how many different X-Men titles. I mean, I think they might have been worse than Richie Rich as far as how many X-Men titles are out there. But anyway, if you see this one for cheap, you know, I think they go for $15, $20 now. I don't know, something like that. These early issues of this X-Men title used to be pretty worthless because they were printed by the millions. But now people are starting to get nostalgic, and they're about to come out with a new continuation of the 90s X-Men cartoon, but it sounds like it's going to be updated for today's times. So that means everyone's going to be gay and transgender and you know, very proud. It's or just, you know, they'll just go out of the way to have to really emphasize the triangle between Cyclops, Wolverine, and Jean Grey. They'll get all, because that's what it is. You know, it's all about breaking down everything in society, whatever. Okay, so World's Greatest Heroes. You know, they're bringing back the Batman cartoon from the 90s as well. And I'm sure, and they say that's, and I heard it's going to be very inclusive as well. So that means they're going to change characters for today's times. And and Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, has just come out as being a gay man. So I guess that's part of the promotion for the cartoon. As if that really, does that even matter? I mean, he does a great job as the voice of Batman. But why do I need to know his sexuality to enjoy the Batman cartoon? I don't know. Here's Punisher number 1, which is probably about a $50 book, I think, maybe more. And this issue of Power Pack has a little bit of value because it has Beta Ray Bill on the cover. Here's Superman number 338. Oh, I love the Bottle City of Kandor. One of the things they did away with when they started Superman over again was all that magic stuff like that. 340, 339. Oh, I've got several copies of that issue. Man, if I hadn't bought all these extra copies of the same issue, I could have all these other great comics that I don't have, and I could have a decent collection. Here's the Defenders number 14. And like this, I swear to God, I've got several. I think I just showed you 3 or 4 copies of this the other day. How many copies do I have of Marvel Team Up 24? I think I just love the cover. So every time I see it, I buy it because it's just this great, what a great image. This is also a beautiful cover. Superman number 265. I stared at this so long. The Pirates of the Caribbean ad. It was a 4-page ad that used to run in these comics. There's Johnny Depp there. See, dead ringer. But there were these model kits you could get that would move. They had rubber bands that would make them move, right? And they weren't. The one that I got, and I still have the box, and I still have a few pieces of it, but is this one, which is called Dead Men Tell No Tales. Here's Superman 233. 270. This might have been the first Superman comic I bought as a kid. Possibly. Yeah. I remember buying this one for sure. Beautiful purple cover. So that's 274. 265. I must have the monkeypox. 263. From handling some Planet of the Apes comics. All right. Daredevil 113. Hulk 239. That's really a piss poor depiction of George Washington down there. Hulk 237. This is from the time that it was a show on television. Therefore, it has Marvel's TV sensation written on it. What the hell? Yeah. Those were the days. This is back in the days when they had ads telling you could put weight on. Not to lose weight, but to add weight. You needed to get bigger. Oh, there's the first Warlord. Those need to go in the other room. Oh, there's Amber Heard. Now I hear that they had cut down her time in the movie to 10 minutes. I heard rumors they were going to completely cut her out of the movie. I heard another rumor they were going to replace her with a dolphin. Now she's kind of an important character in the comic book, being his wife. But now I hear they're going to expand her time where it's 20 minutes of the movie. And probably they realized that even though she might have been the villain of that show trial that was put on television for weeks to distract us from what's really going on, to distract all the normal people's attention so they don't really realize the real horror of what's happening. Everyone's like watching that. Anyway, she isn't the best actress, but she's okay as that character. I mean, the problem is Jason Momoa's charismatic enough. He just doesn't look like that. But, okay, you know, I can accept that, I guess. I know I can. The movie's okay. But anyway, they're going to add her. They probably realized that even if she's the villain, people want to see her. They're interested in her because, you know, so let's give her more time, you know. Don't cut her out completely. People are interested. It's like, well, let's see how bad an actress she really is. Let's go buy a ticket to Aquaman 2. Whatever. Whatever, dude. I was talking about Bill and Ted a couple episodes back. I've never seen Bill and Ted, honestly. I was just talking about how people I know are connected to that Bill and Ted universe. But I've never seen the movie. When it came out, I just thought, oh, this is a ripoff of what's his face's character, Jeff Spicoli. What's the actor's name? From Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I mean, he was the guy that did the definitive surfer guy. And then Bill and Ted were just kind of imitating, to me, what he did. That actor that I really liked at the time, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but now I realize that he's a complete asshole idiot. I can't remember his name. You'll put it down. It'll come to me as soon as I finish this film. Fuck it. Listen to me. I'm deluded enough to think I'm making a film. Creatures on the Loose. Now, that damn fucking Sony is making a Craven movie. Like they made a Craven Morbius movie, and boy, wasn't that a hit. And I have no interest in seeing Venom or Carnage or whatever, but Craven, we accept Craven, but a normal person who doesn't read these comics looking at Craven and the way he dresses, they're gonna, it's gonna like my wife, I guess I bought a Funko Pop of Craven, and she looked at that and just, what the fuck is that? Because normal people don't know who Craven is, you know. It's not like the Green Goblin. Normal people don't read Spider-Man comics. Normal people don't know who Steve Ditko is, you know. But anyway, but I don't think Craven's gonna be dressed the way he does in the comic. And then how is he even gonna be Craven? He's just gonna be a hunter in a city, and unless you put Spider-Man in the movie, what good is that? Oh, that's good. I'm just looking at this cover, kind of liking that. Oh, yeah. I'll never get this done, man. Showcase presents Power Girl. The historic last issue, a very special. Okay, this is when everything that I loved went away. This Alan Moore story. I didn't like this. I mean, it's a great story and everything. I just don't like that they really did this. The Legion of Superheroes Last Salute. I just don't want to say goodbye to all the great stuff from the 50s, 60s, and 70s because they want to start over or whatever. I didn't like that. Anyway, this is Superman 423. Let's get this filed. I bought this Superman number 12, but I just like the cover. But you know, Superman number 12, that's laughable because it's not. And this is says Superman number 50, but clearly it's not Superman number 50 because this isn't like 1946. Don't start the numbering over. I hate that shit. Let's see this. I guess they went back to the original numbering. Here's Superman 680. I just bought that because of the beautiful cover. And I love crypto. I hate that now when you say crypto, idiots think of that stupid fake computer money. Okay, so 423, and then by 420, then the next issue they went to Adventures of Superman. This is 426. And they started, this is 417, I want to show you. They started that Superman over with, I think, John Byrne. Okay. Uncanny Tales #1. Unexpected number 182. And here's Teen Titans number 50. Let's see, there was a character called the Joker's daughter called the Harlequin. This is before Harley Quinn. And she looked like Rachel Maddow. Let's get that file of the Teen Titans. Teen Titans 50. This is before they started over with the new Teen Titans in order to here's 52, 53. I don't know if that was the last issue or not. But then they started over with the Teen Titans that are pretty much known today. Oh, that reminds me, we need to catch. We're behind on that series too. We were watching the Teen Titans, the R-rated Teen Titans TV show, and that's another show I need to get caught up on. What else do I have to show you? Star Trek meets Planet of the Apes. Can you believe that? I would have gone out of my head in 4th grade. Star Trek meeting Planet of the Apes, that's like two things I love most in the world coming together. It's like chocolate and peanut butter coming together to make a Reese's peanut butter cup. I don't know what I already showed you these Defenders comics probably. I'm going to go follow those. Here's Action Comics number 636. A lot of TNA on the covers around that time period. There's another Marvel Age 25th anniversary celebration. Okay, let me get some of this. Wish I could provide better entertainment for you. Oh, some Brave and the Bold. Let's get these filed. Okay. Well, I don't have a clock in here. This clock does not work. According to this clock, it is always 12:45. I think that, I wonder if it's 5 o'clock, then the rest of the restaurant we like to eat at on Saturday nights opens at 5 o'clock p.m. And I have to just look outside based on where the sun is, but it's cloudy. So that makes it hard to tell the time. Okay. Will that work? Yeah, wow. Okay, so Iraq, Avengers. Okay. Yeah, see, this outfit would disturb the average moviegoer more than likely. All right. I mean, we think it's cool, but you know how those people are. Okay, some Avengers comics. There's a Batman. Dennis the Menace. All right. This is Batman number 326. How you like this Batman angle I've got here? This crooked Batman angle. Okay, Captain America. What? Why is Captain America in front of Brave and the Bold? What is going on? Okay, there's a mistake here. All right, these Brave and the Bold books are clearly in the wrong spot. Let's move them over here. Okay, it's Captain America 172. Okay, that explains where the other Captain America books were that I was complaining about a few episodes ago. So this is probably how I'm going to discover those House of Mystery books, because they're just wildly out of order. Okay, so this is probably about where the 20-cent era begins with Captain America. There's 143, 146, 146, 147, 148. Oh, I see. 149, 151. Oh, when I was a little kid, I had a shirt with this image on it. 155, 156. Looks like I'm missing a few issues that I need to fill in. Like here's 156, and then I go to 160. 161, then it looks like I'm missing 162 and 163, and then I have this great 164. I love that cover. And then 165 through 172 I do not see, because the next thing I've got is 173. 174, 176, 177. All of those are comics I got later, because this is the very first Captain America comic I ever bought when I was a kid, and this is 180. So this is my childhood copy. All those others were obtained later. 186. Looks like I have two 186s. 187. 188. Another 188. 189. 190. Look at this costume design. That's pretty damn cool. Why isn't that character used? Why don't you keep Sam Wilson as the Falcon and introduce these cool other African American characters? Why does he have to become Captain America and take something secondhand from someone? Why can't you keep him the Falcon? Because the Falcon was a cool character. 191. Because the Falcon could fly, man. This is when Kirby came back, 193. But he wasn't quite the same Kirby. I mean, it's still wonderful, but he just wasn't quite the same. It was like someone that came back from the war a little damaged. He just had gotten older and more bitter. And I think they also had him writing. That's a little risky when he's writing as well. Okay, here's 198. Yeah. Wonder what he'd think of what's going on now in the country. 202. I think Captain America Winter Soldier seemed like a kind of an answer to that question. It didn't seem like that Captain America Winter Soldier was made by liberals. You know it was, but let's see. That was a great movie. And you know, Chris Evans really was a great Captain America. Why did you have to stop it? What is Chris Evans going to do? Is he going to move on to great things as an actor? It's 208. This is from a Whitman pack. So it's got the diamond at the top. 209. Okay, so these need to come over. There's 209. Shit. Sorry, I gotta move you guys down a little bit. Oops. All right. Let's find a different way to prop you guys up. Stop falling over, man. Okay. Why are there Superman? What? Whoa! Is this where they are? Showing it. Oh, House of Secrets. No. Oh no, that's not the right House of Secrets. Invader. This shit's out of order. Sheena. What the fucking hell? Captain Marvel, Claw, Conan. A bunch of stuff out of order here. This is how all this nightmare stuff happens, man. Okay. It's GI War. How did this happen? Captain America. Oh, man. There's a whole bunch of books in this box that are out of order. It should be over all the... Yeah, all these Superman books. Superman Family, Superman versus Mad